Here's some more news. I saw the surgeon yesterday. First time since I left the hospital. I actually didn't even see him in the hospital for like a week before I left. So I did have a worry about how my skin graft was looking, because it did separate. At least I thought it was separated from the top and kind of a little bit halfway down on the edges. So when I came out of surgery for this one, I had to be on complete bed rest. And then I had to have this brace on so that I didn't move my knee at all. Because when you move your knee, just where my skin graft is on top of the muscles and just where they manipulated the muscle behind my knee, it kind of moves the skin, obviously. Like, it's just a really bad spot for a skin graft to be. Everybody keeps saying that it's just a really, really bad area. So it did separate, and it is, I'd show you guys, but it is kind of gross, so I don't want to be posting any of that. It is separated. So he did confirm that, yes, definitely it is separated, and put me back in the brace for the next 4 weeks. Now, my thought is, if I would have stayed in the brace the whole time I was in the hospital, this probably would have healed properly. But because they said I could take the brace off and I could start weight bearing and walking a little bit on it, being careful, but walking on it. So if I would have stayed with the brace on, I probably would have healed. And in saying that, I think it's still good that it's not healed completely, because I still have drainage. So we want to make sure the fluid does keep coming out and doesn't pool in there and cause infection, which is my other fear, is that if this does heal up completely and there's still so much drainage coming out, that we might have that problem again with the infection, because it'll just sit in that spot. And that's where that big surgery will come in, for the full reconstruction of the thigh. So hoping that doesn't happen. So this is the thing. Since I put this brace back on yesterday, it is a little tighter. It has to hold your knee in place. You can't move. It's literally from my thigh all the way to my ankles. It's a little tighter, so it's actually squeezing a little bit more fluid out. So today I saw the infectious diseases guy, hoping that we would take my PICC line out and switch me to pill antibiotics. It's bad when the infectious diseases doctor says, I want to do an ultrasound on your PICC area just to make sure, because it's you. We both laughed, because I say the same thing. Have you met me? He says, I just want to make sure everything's okay, that there's no issues, because there is, blood clots could develop, that kind of stuff. And since my arm's starting to hurt a little bit, he just wanted to make sure. Yep, sure enough, there's a blood clot in the arm, kind of around the armpit area where the PICC line went through. So it's a good thing we took the PICC line out today, because that's going to help. So I don't have that anymore, thank God. That's one less thing to have to worry about and stress about and that. So I am switched to pills, antibiotics, and now back on blood thinners because of the blood clot. The blood clot is in a pretty bad spot. It's too close to the heart, obviously. He actually had to get a hold of someone else, and I can't remember the name, a nephrologist or something, I don't know, something, or some other doctor to go over this with, to make sure that they wanted to put me on blood thinners, because there's still the problem with an open wound and bleeding, so they didn't want me to bleed out. And then on the other hand, they don't want this blood clot to do any damage either, so they needed to kind of figure out the best option for me, knowing my issues that I've had all along. Like he said, I'm doing this because it's you. So they are putting me on blood thinners, but they're going middle of the line. They're not the most severe, not the strongest. And they're starting me on them now, and I have to be very closely supervised, make sure that there's no bleeding, and all that other stuff. So that's what's happening now. But seriously, if it's going to happen, it's going to happen to me for sure. which is why he wanted to do the ultrasound before he took the PICC line out. Grateful that PICC line's out. Really grateful. Now I just have to try and get all the tape off me, because there's a lot of that. And I did get some stuff, so I'll be working on that. But it's nice not to have the extra pouch walking around and the IV fluids and everything else. So switching to pills will be definitely better. So that's the scoop now. I don't see him for another 2 weeks, so we'll see how that happens. I have to wear this brace for 4 weeks. Make sure not to bend the knee too much to see how skin graft kind of and the skin kind of connect. See what happens with that. So that's my story, and I'm sticking to it. Honestly, I just keep shaking my head. Anyways, that's that. Thanks for listening.